Harlan with DaVinci Educational Technology, and we're going to be talking today about using both Canvas and SIS side by side to track your child's grades. Alrighty, so I have got Canvas pulled up on the left side of my screen. I've logged in. Now I went ahead and just put a sample student view. You would log in as a parent observer or have your student log in. On the right side of my screen, I've logged into SIS and pulled up a sample student's grades. I want to find out what is going on with this student's grades. They actually don't look too badly, except I can see right here there are 2 missing assignments in language arts. If I click on missing, it only gives me this much information. But if I click on the name of the class, it gives me a categorical breakdown of all of the students' assignments. And this is a really valuable view. So please pull this up if you're trying to figure out what's going on with your students' grades. I can see that this teacher, Mrs. Taylor, has 4 different weighted categories for her class. She's got language and conventions for 20%, reading summary is worth 25%, speaking and listening is 25%, and writing summary is 30%. So if I want to know where my student's grade is faltering, I can check category by category and see what grade they're earning in each category, which is calculated to make their total or cumulative grade. This is a really useful trick because if your student does great in class but doesn't turn in any homework, and then also does poorly on tests, that's some insight into where you can help support your student into doing better. Or perhaps you have a student that does great on homework but maybe is having some behavioral issues that they need support with in school. And so in that case, it would be like a participation category that would be faltering. So pay attention to those categories. They're different for each teacher. It depends on the subject and the grade. Well, in particular, I can see that she's missing this Helen Keller annotation and also this Models 1 essay revision. So I want to find out what's going on there. Now, it might not have said missing. Perhaps it just had a 0, which might mean that the student just missed the deadline for turning something in and no longer has the opportunity, and so they received 0 points for an assignment they didn't do. It might mean that they turned it in and did it completely incorrectly. So let's take a look at Canvas and see if we can shed a little bit of insight on what is going on with this particular assignment. So Models Essay 1 Revision. Well, over here in the Canvas Grades student view, I can see that I have the name of the assignment, the due date, the score the student received, the total the assignment was worth, and then this column right here would actually have a little speech bubble in it if the teacher had left the student a message about this particular assignment. As this is just a test view, it has dashes here instead of a score. But if you were looking at your student's grade view, a dash would indicate that they didn't turn the assignment in. They would have a number there if it had been graded, a number out of 40 in this case, or they would have a hyperlink icon if an assignment had been turned in but hadn't been graded yet. So if this student was my student and it said that she was missing this assignment, but I found that assignment down on the list here, Models Essay 1 Revision, if it had a hyperlink right there, then I'd say, oh, okay, that student turned it in, but it just wasn't graded. Well, oftentimes the teacher will leave a note, which will look like a speech bubble icon right here, if the student perhaps turned in the wrong assignment, turned in a broken link, turned something in on a Google Doc but didn't share it with the teacher. So it's really important to click on that comment box from the teacher and find out what's going on. If the assignment had been turned in, you could also click on their submission and have it pulled up. You'd be able to see the quality of the student's work. Now, one thing to be aware of is that sometimes students are pretty smart, right? And so sometimes they will enter in this test a what if score and show their parents, I don't know why she says it's missing in SIS. Look, I turned it in, she just hasn't graded it yet. So please be aware that if it's bolded in red with a little arrow like that, that's just a what if score. and that's not accurate. All right, so pulling up this side-by-side view and tracking assignments by name gives you an idea of whether or not your student has actually turned it in, if there were any issues with the assignment, and what the problem may be. I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much for watching.